if you believe some of the recent reports, the Taliban have even expressed a willingness to curb the types of militants that are concerning to India, such as Lashkar-e-Taiba.
There's another thing, and which a lot of people told me, and I've been speaking to several people within India. Because when Taliban came back in and stormed back to power in Afghanistan, Pakistan obviously thought that they could use the resurgence of the Taliban or the return of the Taliban to corner India, to sort of pressure India, to sort of. But that hasn't happened. It seems that Taliban has is actually closer to the Indian government today than to the Pakistani government. The differences are just too many.
Yeah, it really is remarkable how things have turned out. You're right, and I think that one could argue that perhaps many within the Pakistani security establishment, the army and intelligence, are having buyer's remorse in the sense that they had banked on the Taliban in Afghanistan for so long and saw it as their best strategic outcome. In the sense that, as you suggest, that indeed a Taliban-led Afghanistan would make it very difficult for India to have space and influence to operate there. But I think that view underestimated just how the Taliban would respond to a situation where it no longer needed to be dependent on Pakistan, right? With the Taliban takeover and the U.S. departure, the war in Afghanistan ended in the sense that there was no longer a Taliban war against an Afghan state that had collapsed. And so the Taliban no longer needed help from Pakistan. And keep in mind that even when the Taliban was getting that support from Pakistan, when its leaders were based in Pakistan, when fighters were getting medical support from Pakistani medical facilities, there was still some strands of mistrust harbored by the Taliban against Pakistan. There were many Taliban leaders that didn't like having to be dependent on Pakistan. They worried that Pakistan was too close to the United States and so on and so forth. So in that sense, it didn't take much, I think, for an independent Taliban, so to speak, to be in a position where it could really cut loose, so to speak, with this hostility against the Pakistani state. And indeed, it's remarkable that India is now in a position where its embassy has partially reopened. It has a presence in Afghanistan. The Taliban has said on a number of occasions that it welcomes good relations with India. And if you believe some of the recent reports, the Taliban have even expressed a willingness to curb the types of militants that are concerning to India, such as Lashkar-e-Taiba. And the Taliban have not said that about the TTP. So it's quite remarkable. The tables truly have turned.